Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I'm bringing to you guys is a little quick tips and tricks video almost, but an official one that is released by New World on how you can best avoid the queues, or at least try to, in New World for Brimstone Sands release. Now, what they've released here is a New World server heat map, and this was given to us late last night for me, or yesterday if you're in America and such. And it says, "Greetings adventurers, discover the anticipated queue times for each world to better prepare for the upcoming Brimstone Sands release." Now what they've done here is given us this image, which I'll enlarge for you guys now so you can see, and I'll just shuffle the camera out of the way so you guys can see that. Now, as you'll be able to see from this list here, you've got your lowest risk in the green on the left hand side, you've then got your medium risk, and then your highest risk, and this says worlds may be locked. So if you are on the highest risk list, like I am here, we're on Central Europe Dry Tree, which is second from the bottom on the left-hand column in this row here. Now, our world currently is open to transfers, or has been open to transfers. It might now be locked again, so if you are on these lists here in the highest risk ones, don't panic too much. The chances are you're pretty much going to be locked before players can transfer in. Now, that being said, there is obviously more players than the server can hold on that server currently. That is including if people return to the game and are already there or have been merged into those servers due to previous server mergers. So do bear that in mind. There may be a little bit of a queue, especially if you are in this red one. You're looking at probably a queue on most of the peak times for that server. Now, the medium risk servers, this is pretty interesting. These are mostly not the brand newest release servers, but the second to newest release servers. And these are all at medium risk, which means they're at pretty high pop. And you are going to probably have some queues, but they're not likely to be locked. You're likely to be able to get in a little bit more quickly on those servers, and probably you're not going to see transfers disabled to those right away. Maybe if, again, a lot of players come back and it's hectic, but I think mostly you're going to be okay, generally because they're either new characters or characters that have already transferred from ones that are in the red zone. Most of the previous transfers and mergers would have gone into one of these red zone servers, so you should be okay if you're on that one, but you may still get some queues as they are fairly high pop. Now, the lowest risk is obviously the newest additional servers that they added not too long ago, just a couple of weeks ago actually, and these are still at lowest risk. Obviously, you may still get some queues, but the server pop for these is, you know, a little bit less than max capacity at peak times as it is now. And again, it is going to be new characters or characters that have already transferred from these servers in the, at least the red one, but probably some of the yellow ones as well, into this green lowest risk area. Now, that being said, you're at this point right now, and it says, "We suggest players in high population worlds move to other worlds as their world may be impacted by queues. Plan ahead with friends and company members." And this information is valid as of 10th of October, which is yesterday at the time of uploading this video. So obviously, as you can see, if you are in one of these red realms here and you do have a free transfer token, it may be wise to go to a green one. Now, obviously, you could risk it and go for a fairly high pop still one in the middle zone here, maybe Tiernanog for Europe, for example. However, you have still got the chances of getting those queues. So probably most people are going to come to this green one if they are in a red zone right now and they still have a free transfer token. Now, going back into the article, it says, "Players who created an account from launch until 3:30 p.m. PST on February 14th, 2022, so a few months ago now, will have at least 2 free transfer tokens, unless one or more has been previously used." Click here to find out if you qualify. So again, I will leave a link to this article in the video description. If you guys want to head over to the webpage, you can follow that hyperlink there. And then it says, "As a reminder, you can only see 1 available server token at a time, but you may still have 2, especially if you haven't used them and you did play at the launch." So any returning players that are going to end up on one of these red worlds, I would probably recommend swapping out to one of these lower pop ones or medium pop, depending, of course, on what the actual overall population is of that server, because, of course, moving from a red high risk one right now, which is really fun because there's lots of people on, to a green one, you might not see that many players around, but once this launches, you won't have queues. So you've kind of got to weigh that up with your friends, whoever you're playing with, your company mates. For those of us like myself that do not have any free transfer tokens, it looks like we're not getting any other free ones right now. As it says here, if you've already used at least 1 or more has been previously used. So in other words, if you've already used your tokens up, you're kind of stuck. So for me, I'm staying on Dry Tree right now, unless of course you want to pay for the transfer, which again, organise that with your friends and your company before you do it, because of course, if you're paying for it, it's a lot more serious. But generally speaking, I think you're going to expect to see queues on I would say all of the red ones and probably most of the yellow ones right now, at least for the first few days. Probably after the first few days, the yellow medium risk servers will open back up, and then we'll be just looking at the red ones for the first week or maybe 2 weeks at a push. But I think most of the sweaty players, most of the players who are hardcore will jump on, do the content in the first few days, and then probably settle down and not just get on at peak times, get on at random other times when they can, or leave it a few days and come back to it because they'll have done the content that they wanted to do. Most of the casual players will just pick it up as and when. So fingers crossed these aren't too bad. Hopefully, you know, some players have got free transfers. There'll be a bit of shuffling, so do bear that in mind if you don't want to jump the gun. Bear in mind some people will be transferring from here down to the yellow and down to the green, so you might want to give it a couple of days to see how it levels out. But yeah, generally speaking, this is going to be an interesting one. Hopefully you can avoid the queues, and if you are like me, you kind of stuck on a red one without paying, then I guess we're just going to have to buckle down. Hopefully we can get on and the queues aren't too horrendous. They have increased the server cap quite a bit since last time, so it's now up to about 2250 on most servers. Some are on 2400, so there is, you know, another 200, 300, 400 players on most servers allowed on, which prevents queues at peak times on these servers right now. So fingers crossed the queues won't be extortionate. 10-15 minutes isn't horrendous, but if it's half an hour plus, people are going to be very annoyed. So fingers crossed they've got a system in place for that. And like we say there, if you have got your free transfer tokens, it's probably wise to let it level out for a couple of days, see what's going on, and then maybe have a little look at going to one of these other servers, especially if there's a group of you, because you should all be able to get on a lot easier, especially on these green ones. So yeah, just wanted to bring you guys this update video, let you know what is going on in New World. This is officially from them. This is kind of what they've said. So your best chance at avoiding the queues, you go in green. Mostly a chance, you'd say maybe 70-30% at avoiding the queue as it stands right now. You're on the orange ones, and you've got a 90% chance of a queue if you're in these red servers here. However, if they are locked, hopefully you won't have horrendously long queues at least. So yeah, that's kind of how it stands. Hopefully this video was useful. It's up to you to make your own decision on where you want to move or what you want to do if you want to move. But I just thought I'd give you guys the information so you are in the loop with what is going on, as this is a pretty important time if you do want to get on and play at Brimstone Sands. If you did enjoy the video, guys, make sure you drop me a like, make sure you drop a subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all of the latest and greatest from New World. And other than that, I will catch you guys again very, very shortly on a brand new video. So take care and peace.